So hello, this is Julia Mick. So wonderful to have you for this online workshop, Creating Your Miraculous 2019. I'm so glad you have arrived and you're giving yourself this gift of really tuning into who you are, who you're meant to be, and what you're meant to do in this world. And I'm here to inspire you today, give you tools and skills, and create a safe space for you to really go into a place inside of you where you might have not gone before, into the place of clarity, allowing yourself to expand, find courage within, and get clear. Why are you here? What is this next year, this new year about? And stepping into it fully from your soul, from your spirit, from the place of your bigger purpose in the world. But before we fully dive in, let's close our eyes and fully land, fully become present. Take a few deep breaths. See if you can feel your whole abdomen expanding as you breathe in. And letting yourself fully land into this moment, into your body, onto the chair you're sitting on. To become available for this gift you have come here to receive tonight. You can leave your mind, your long to-do list outside the door for now. Just let yourself become more empty, more available to actually receive the fullness of the gift that's possible here for you. New insight, new experience, new realization that's awaiting you here. So taking a moment to really open to it. And a couple of more deep breaths. And this time, see if you can feel your feet while taking those few deep, long, luxurious inhales. Feeling the ground underneath your feet with each powerful in-breath. And one more breath, deepest, most abundant inhale yet. Let every cell in your body expand to receive this new breath of life. Wonderful, thank you. So thank you again so much for showing up for yourself here right now, today, to discover something new about you, about your path forward, about your soul's guidance. So I invite you to listen to what's flowing through me, to what's being said through me with an open heart. Whatever concepts you have, whatever great wisdom and knowledge you have, that's all so wonderful. But see if you can create some space inside of yourself for something new. And maybe for something unusual or unfamiliar even. Because the invitation here today is really to go outside your comfort zone, outside your familiar self, outside this idea of who you think you are, what you think you can do, what you think you cannot do. So today, right now, as we're together, is really an opportunity to go and explore a whole new dimension within your own being. And with that said, please keep noticing what's arising inside of you as you're listening to my words. Because there might be insights, awakenings, new ideas that will come from inside of you. Thanks to the energy field we are in, thanks to you listening to me. But it might be something that's uniquely yours. It might have nothing to do with what I'm just saying, but the awakening inside of you is really the number one priority. So listen through your body, listen with your attention inside of your being and notice what keeps percolating there, because that's what's most important here. I'm just a catalyst. I'm just an invitation. So please keep listening on the inside, what happens in you as you stay with us in this 90-minute session. So with that said, if your phone isn't off yet, this is a good moment to make sure you really create an undistracted container. Consider this a very sacred space. And the more we keep deepening into the space, the more clarity arises, the more insight arises, the more healing happens. So keep dropping deeper and deeper as we keep going forward here tonight. Yeah. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, just to let you know who are you listening to, who is this Julia Mick here, and also want to introduce you to a wonderful, incredible woman whose name is Shirley Weiss. She's also with me here holding space for all of you. She's one of my most important master coaches in the Breath of Love work, and she is here to answer your questions. If you have questions coming up and you want to ask something via chat, feel free to do so. She will also share some of her wisdom towards the end of the call. And most of your questions, especially the questions that are important and need a longer answer, please bring them at the very end of the call. We'll have a whole time set aside to talk to you, to see what's percolating in you, what's the support you need to get more clear in yourself. So this is the time at the very end of the call. Make sure to stay until then. And sometimes when you listen to other people's questions, you actually get answers for yourself. So we are here to co-create together in many ways. So with that, I'm going to invite us to take another deep breath in. Keep tuning into your body, into this inner intelligence inside. This is what Breath of Love is really about. Listening to your own inner guidance. And breath can help you get out of the mind, into that soft, spacious place inside your body. Wherever that soft and spacious place is right now, see if you can find it. And take a couple of deep breaths into it. Because again, yes, I'll be using words, but this workshop is not about words ultimately. So energetically allowing that unfolding to happen is what we're really here for. And this is how I'm really holding space. My words are just to keep your mind entertained, but listening energetically with your body, with your heart, with your toes, with your sit bones, with all of you. That's my main invitation. And then your answers become most clear. So a little bit about myself. As you can hear, I have an accent. My accent is from Estonia. That's where I was born, a little tiny country right below Finland in Scandinavia. I have been in America for about 20 years now, but my spiritual journey really started when I was really little. My Kundalini awakened when I was really little, and it actually brought up a lot of opportunity to discover the world outside the physical plane. And it also gave me an opportunity to face a lot of judgment from my parents because it freaked out, especially my mother, who didn't understand what was happening with her daughter with this Kundalini. And so a lot of imprinting actually came on from that time. Imprinting of I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, my pleasure is not okay, my bliss is not okay, my clear inner knowing about who I am is wrong, I should not trust it. So there was a lot of conditioning that came from my childhood, as I imagine also for many of you that was the case. And I ended up feeling very depressed when I was a teenager, very self-loathing, anorexic. I got very sick with my anorexia to the point where I almost lost my capacity to have children because my period stopped, and it was just very difficult time to go through. However, there was something deep inside that was calling me forward. I knew there was something bigger than the suffering. I knew there was something more than my human everyday life experience. So I was going to workshops. I started going to different classes to learn to meditate, learn about energy system, to learn about angels, learn about chakras, learn about healing. And all of this was feeding me, but nothing really shifted me deeply and completely from inside until I came to a weekend workshop where we used a work with breath. It was called spiritual breathing at the time, and it was with one of my very first spiritual teachers then, with whom I had this profound awakening where I simply remembered within a couple of hours, I all of a sudden remembered who I really was. Remembered the pure love, the infinite peace, the ineffable beauty that I was and everything was made out of. It was like awakening to my true wholeness, to who I really was, beyond the conditioning, beyond my ego, beyond my fear. And I fell in love with this work so much because it was so fast and so immediate that I went to the next workshop and next and next, and it deepened and it grew and it expanded more and more, to the point where I realized, wow, I have to bring this work forward to the world. People need to remember their true nature. People are here to remember who they are. People need to connect to the divine self, to the peace, to the pure love, to the feeling of well-being that's possible for them. And as I was exploring it inside of my own self, it also started getting more and more clear what is my unique offering, what is my unique flavor of this work of awakening. And with that, breath of love was born. I had other spiritual teachers along the way, Gangaji, Adya Shanti. I sat with many different masters who all were pointing to the same truth, that who we really are is already whole and complete and perfect and completely at peace. We just need to learn to have access to it. And not just know it, not just talk about it, but to really embody it. So this is what my work is about. It's about embodiment. If you are here on this call, I know you already have a lot of theory, you have a lot of fancy concepts, you have a lot of wisdom, you have done a lot of inner work in yourself. And I honor it from the depth of my heart. I honor how much deep, sacred work you have done in your own being. And I'd love to take a moment for you also to honor yourself for that. If it feels good, you can even put your hands on your heart or on your belly and just say to yourself, wow, that has been such an incredible journey that has brought me here. I'm so grateful for all my choices that have helped me grow, evolve, open my heart more, and be here now, ready to step into a whole new, bigger purpose in my life. And if you're here, I imagine a lot of what you know is conceptual. I'm sure you have had some powerful spiritual glimpses, and they're great teasers. They're like a tease that says, it's possible, let's keep moving forward. Yet often in these initial stages, even if the initial stages are very deep and profound, the initial stages are conceptual. Oh, I know this in theory. I know peace is possible. I read in a book by Eckhart Tolle that I can be always present and have access to my calm and serenity. I read in another book that my true nature is pure love, right? There's a lot of knowing in the head, which is great. But then you're here today, so I could invite you to go more into the embodiment of everything you know, so it can become your living and breathing experience. So your peace, so your self-love, so your sense of wholeness can affect your relationships, can affect your work, can affect your finances. So everything in your life can start flowing with more ease, with more grace, because your choices are not based on fear any longer. So this is here what we are going to do today. I'm going to take you through a very deep meditation, which is the whole point of today, but the talking is to prepare you for it. And the whole invitation is to really get out of fear, get out of the place of self-doubt, get out of the place of contraction and tension, and discover what's possible when you access your true nature, which is infinitely intelligent, infinitely kind. It knows exactly how to guide you. It knows exactly how to heal you. I have seen miraculous healings in my work. I have done it for 20 years now, and I have had clients from all over the world, and I have seen miraculous healings, not just on emotional level, but on physical. And as soon as people really find that clear connection to who they really are, their wholeness, their vitality, their peace, their power, their grace, the physical body heals often very quickly. As an example, I had someone who worked with me in private sessions, just a couple of times actually, and he had a lot of stress in his life. However, the main problem was this chronic back pain that no doctor could help, no doctor could heal. And this man happened to be very wealthy, and he traveled the world paying a lot of money to most expensive, most famous doctors he could find in India, in Europe, everywhere, anywhere he could find someone famous, he went to heal this excruciating pain in his back. And nobody was able to help him. And he did a couple of sessions with me. And all of a sudden the pain was gone. And he was totally surprised. He was almost a little upset. He was like, Julia, how come you didn't tell me it's gonna make my pain go away? This is amazing. It was just such a big surprise. And it was only because he tapped into this innermost essence of his true being that knew exactly how to permeate his body, permeate his psyche, permeate his nervous system. And then what had to be healed on a physical and emotional level was completely healed. And the pain never came back. So this story is just to illustrate to you the power of your true nature. So if your mind is engaged with that concern around, oh, but I have this pain, or I have this grief, or I have this financial problem, sometimes mind thinks that these are separate from true nature. But actually, I have seen again and again when people tap into the power of the true nature, into the power of the true essence, many problems, physical, emotional, financial, relational, they actually unravel. Whatever knot was in place that wasn't able to let go just unravels itself from that place of innermost wholeness. So this is what we're here to do today, for you to have at least a little bit of a connection to this place inside of you, and from that place be guided into creating 2019 from the place of your soul. And by soul, I mean your true nature. There's so many words. I'm not attached to the semantics myself. I sometimes say spirit. I sometimes say infinite light. I sometimes say infinite intelligence. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's you. The point being, all of it is who you really, really are. And my prayer for you here today is that you tap into who you are and let it move you in your life. May it help you make choices and decisions that really allow your soul, your soul's gifts, come forward fully. So with that, there are three things I want to tell you, three most important keys I have discovered during my many years of doing this work. The keys that actually help the individual find the clarity and courage to step into their greatest gifts in the world. These three keys might be simple, but please, as I'm saying them, listen to them with your heart, with your body, with your abdomen, with the deeper place inside, with your heart. Because these things, even though they are simple, they are profoundly important on your journey. And you do have a deeper purpose. There is a deeper calling pulling you forward. Otherwise, you would not be on this call right now with me. So let's support this calling by giving it 3 important support systems. So these are the 3 keys. First one is self-love, knowing your value, knowing your worth, and being able to not just know it in the head, but feel it experientially. And maybe for a minute again, put your hands on your body. Put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Take one deep breath. And take one more breath that's even deeper, that goes all the way down, down into your lower abdomen. And see if you can just sense an appreciation you have for yourself. Even if it's just a very simple quality of gratitude and kindness, see if you can bring it to yourself right now. Even if you have done this work of self-love for the last 30 years, I promise you, if you're truly genuine in this inner exploration, you can go even deeper into even more self-love, self-acknowledgement here right now. So why is this important? What becomes possible in your life when you know that you're worthy, that you have a profound gift to give, that your presence is beautiful, that you matter? What becomes possible? Just imagine that in your own mind. If you really knew your worth fully, you knew how important you are for your family, for your community, for the world. What would you choose differently? What would you do differently? One thing I have seen with many clients is that when they really tap into this embodied state of knowing their worth and feeling their magnificence, one of the first things that arises is confidence. And right the next thing that arises is courage. Because they believe in themselves, they know they matter, they know they have something very important and beautiful to do on this planet, they have confidence about it, and courage comes with it. Because they trust that who they are is profoundly intelligent, protective, caring, and they trust themselves enough to take big leaps forward. So this is the first very, very important key. Second key is following your inner guidance, following your intuition, following your inner knowing, whatever your word for it is. In Sanskrit, there's a word Paramatma. Paramatma is your connection to your divinity, from where guidance and clarity arise from. Why is this important? Because this is where all your shortcuts lie. Everything you want already has an answer. All your challenges, all your issues already actually have a resolution, and the resolution is waiting inside of you. You just have to be able to tap into that place of inner knowing to know the best steps forward. And this is very much what Breath of Love work is about. Today, it's just a short online workshop, so we'll give you a little bit of a sample. At the end of the call, I'll give you an opportunity to go deeper. There will be an opportunity to go much, much deeper into truly embodying what I'm talking about. But right now, just imagine yourself. What if you had access to most clear answers inside of yourself? What if there's this huge fountain, huge reservoir of answers and guidance waiting for you on the inside of you? And one simple way that allows you to have access to it is very much connected to the key number one, is to actually know your value, know your worth. Because when you're not doubting yourself, you're not doubting the answers that want to bubble up to the surface. When you trust yourself, you trust the answers that are right there waiting for you underneath the surface level. So that's one thing that's important for following your inner guidance. The second part that's very important is actually giving yourself permission to follow what inspires you, what brings you joy, what excites you. And again, that is intimately connected to key number one, because when you love yourself and you know you're worthy, you know you deserve love and kindness and abundance and bliss, when you know you deserve it, you actually give yourself permission to follow those nudges that feel good, that feel inspiring. I hope you really are getting it. This is really deep. When you let it land in you, you really see how key number one and key number two are intimately connected, and how it does start with you knowing your worth. Knowing you deserve ease, you deserve grace, you deserve abundance, you deserve love, you deserve pleasure, you deserve bliss. As I'm talking to all of this, see if you can feel it in your body. This is a quick little reminder to actually receive my words with your body, with your heart. You already know that in your mind, right? You have heard this before. So this is not about giving you more concepts here today. It's about inviting you to feel deeper inside the resonance, the truth. So notice what awakens deep inside your body as you're hearing me say all this. What are the sensations? What are the feelings? What are the emotions that are coming up? All of them are important. They're here for a reason. Let yourself create room for all of them. Good. And we'll do a whole deep meditation with this just in a few minutes here. The third key I want to mention is incredibly important, especially in today's society, especially in America. I mean, I live in America. I cannot speak for other countries, but I have seen in America, it's like an epidemic, this idea that so many people have, this idea that they have to figure it out alone, that it's all on their own shoulders. They have to figure it out on their own. They have to figure out their life path. They have to find peace on their own. They have to be masterful meditators, all on their own. And there's almost like a pride that sometimes comes with it. Like, ooh, look, I'm doing it all alone. I might be depressed and exhausted and totally unfulfilled, but I'm doing it alone. I'm struggling alone and it's all on me. So there's this really interesting conditioning I see a lot, even in spiritual circles. I have to figure it out by myself. That means I'm amazing. The truth is that if you have the key number one in place and you know you are amazing, you feel it in every cell in your body as a flow of bliss and pleasure coursing through you, you don't need to prove to yourself or anyone else that you're amazing. You already know it. In my life, I have seen it again and again. the more I come into deep self-love and self-acknowledgement in myself, and I have access to my deep, full power, my soul's gift, the less I need to prove anything, and the more I'm actually humbled. And I'm humbled and humble enough to receive support. So this is the key number 3, is support. High quality support, high caliber professional support, people or mentors, facilitators, like-minded conscious community that can hold you masterfully so you really, really can get out of your fear and anxiety and step into the greatness of your purpose. You're meant to live here now. So again, you can put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Feel your hands in your body. Take a deep breath. Notice where in your life you think it has to be all on your shoulders, that it's all up to you to figure things out. What do you tell yourself that doesn't allow you to receive deep, potent support? And I don't mean just support from your friends or from your pets or from your favorite grandmother. I mean highly skilled support from people who are masters of the craft and who can help you fully embody the fullness of your soul and your soul's gift and help them come forward. When is the last time you let yourself receive support from a healer or facilitator or mentor or coach? And if you work with someone right now, wonderful. I bow to you deeply. Thank you for giving yourself this gift. And how can you expand it even more? How can you give yourself even more support? I can tell you for myself, I would not be where I'm at, creating this impact in the world, being here with all of you. I would not be here where I'm at without my mentors, my coaches, my support systems. And I still have them regularly. And I'm evolving and growing and deepening thanks to that every day. So whatever spiritual ego might be there for some of you, this idea that, oh no, that means I'm weak if I receive support. So what if you question that? What if it's actually not weakness? What if it's actually your wisdom, your self-love, and your power to know that it's much more efficient, much more effective, and much more easy when you let yourself receive high quality support ongoingly. I see it with my certification course, people who come to certification course to learn to do this work also for themselves and in their life. They often start with this idea of, oh, it's all on me and I have to figure it out myself. And as they say yes to this powerful journey, this 9-month-long certification course journey, actually the more they step into their greatness, into their inner peace, into them knowing their value, knowing their gifts, the more they let themselves receive support and the more they're able to bring the gifts forward. And by the end of the course, they usually have a bunch of new support systems in their life. I have amazing stories where somebody received, one story coming to my mind right now, where somebody worked with me for a whole course, and all of a sudden at her workplace, in her business, people started showing up to offer free support, free labor. They just said, wow, we love what you're doing. We love your catering business. It's so inspiring. We love you. We want to help you for free. And there were several people who came on board She didn't even have to pay them, and her whole life became so effortless because she had all this extra support. But the whole thing started with her first allowing herself to receive support, period. And let go of the belief system that it has to be all on her shoulders. And it had to be a shift on a deep subconscious energetic level. It wasn't just a positive affirmation in her head. She did some really deep work in me to align and let go of the traumas that even created these beliefs of hard work to start with. And the more she started allowing ease into her life, the more she started allowing support, the more support actually manifested in her physical reality. And I love seeing that with my clients. It's my favorite thing, how the physical world reorganizes itself when they shift from within energetically, emotionally, and on a deep subconscious level. Wow, there's so much to say about that, but it's a short workshop, so let's just keep your questions and wonderments in your back pocket. You can bring them at the end of the call. We'll have some time to answer some of your questions. But right now, let's take this moment to dive into a meditation. This is not just a meditation, this is also a very deep healing session. So it's up to you how much you let yourself receive here. It's really your choice how deeply you let yourself open to let in something new. So with that intention in mind, to receive and open, let's close our eyes. Take a few deep breaths again. Breath is such a powerful tool to help you get out of the mind, come into your body. And all the answers, all the peace you're looking for is inside your body. It's not in your head. It's about going deeper, deeper than the mind. The body is a vehicle for your soul. So the more we tune into the body, the more we have access to the more subtle dimensions of your soul and your soul's clarity. So take a few really deep breaths. Feel your whole body expand as you breathe in the deep, powerful, long inhale. And again, another deep, long, luxurious inhale. And again. And use your exhale to let go. Let the exhale just pop out all at once. It's a moment of letting go. Letting go of whatever you think you are, whoever you think you are, whatever you think you can or cannot do, just going beyond your familiar identity thanks to the exhale. So let's take a couple of breaths like this. Deep, powerful inhale. Feel it down in your abdomen. And exhale is like a sigh of relief. It just pops itself loose and it's done. Good. There's a lot to say about the power of your breath and how it's connected to your subconscious mechanisms. We are not going to go into it now. Let's just dive into this inner plane inside your body. Feel your sit bones as they're leaning into the surface underneath you. Feel your feet, your toes. If it feels right, you can even very gently wiggle your toes to have access to the very feeling inside the toes. And take a couple of deep breaths as you're feeling your toes. Breath helps you also welcome the sensations, welcome the feelings that are waiting inside of you. There are many sensations, many feelings that you keep pushing away every day, consciously or subconsciously. The places you might be judging, consciously or unconsciously, you're judging them. You're trying not to feel them. But by doing that, you're fragmenting yourself. You're actually making certain parts of you wrong and not good enough. And that's very hard to feel whole and empowered if you move through the world feeling fragmented. Or when you move through the world judging yourself. So the first key is to find a sense of acceptance and appreciation for what is happening inside of you right this second. And again, breath helps you welcome the places that have not been welcomed before. So allow yourself to take a few more deep, powerful in-breaths and send them to the part of your body that you normally avoid or try not to feel. And breathe that part of you in. Welcome it in with the fullness of your heart, with the fullness of your breath. Creating room for all these sensations that are so ready to awaken and become alive in a new way inside of you. Can you allow yourself to become alive more than before? So there's a tendency to keep certain things dormant, keep them small, hold yourself back. So for the next minute, can you use your breath to allow yourself to expand and become bigger, because the gift that wants to flow through you is enormous. I promise you, it's enormous and profound and beautiful and brilliant and intelligent. And it requires more space inside of you. So use the breath for the next minute to allow yourself to expand. Allow yourself to feel sensations that might be new or unfamiliar. Allow yourself to feel your belly expanding like never before. Creating room for all that you're meant to be now at this point in your life. So deep, long inhale, moving through your whole body. And exhale is the moment of letting go of your ideas of what should be happening, letting go of your ideas of where you're heading with your life, letting go of all your self-imposed limitations. With each exhale, there is a letting go. You don't even have to specifically know what you're letting go of. Just know there's a deep letting go with each exhale. And every little cell in your body is letting go. Even the space between your cells is letting go. And let your breath breathe you in any way it wants to from here. Let your spirit breathe you in any way it wants to from here. You have given so much space for it inside of you. Let it breathe you in any way it wants to. Let the whole universe breathe you in any way it wants to right now. Let the bigger purpose of your life breathe you in any way it wants to in this moment. Let the most sacred purpose have its way with you right now in this moment. Notice what feelings come with it, what sensations arise. All of it is here for a reason. Let yourself feel those sensations. They are a very important part of your surrender to who you are meant to be in this world, in this lifetime. Creating room inside of your body for the bigness of your soul, for the bigness of your brilliant gift that is waiting to flow through you fully, powerfully into the world around you. Beautiful. That's it. Yes, you got it. And in this place, here comes a golden question. And listen to the answer that arises from deep inside of you. First, it comes as a feeling. First, it will come as an emotion. Watch that. This is really important here. Are you ready? Listen to the feeling that will arise as soon as I ask this question. If anything was possible in your life right now, if anything was possible, if there were no limits whatsoever, what would bring you greatest excitement? What would bring you greatest joy to do, to be? If anything was possible in your life right now, what would be this most joyful excitement inside of you? What would it want to do, create, bring forward, experience? And let the answer even be illogical. It does not have to make sense. Do not let your logical mind get in the way. This is way too important. Let it be rational if it wants to be rational. It's much bigger than your logical mind. It's much more brilliant than your logical mind. So trust this feeling. trust the vision that comes with this feeling. And let it just unfold in front of you as a movie. If anything was possible, let's say in 1 year, where do you see yourself being? What do you see yourself doing? What feels nourishing? What feels enjoyable to you? Where do you feel most meaning? Where do you feel most in touch with your gifts? Make sure it doesn't become a mental process. Let the feeling dictate the vision. Let yourself enjoy the feeling inside your body. And from this feeling, from this emotion, a vision comes. A knowing comes. And the more you connect with this vision, the more the feeling of enjoyment grows inside of you, the more it spreads, the more it deepens. Allow yourself to enjoy it fully. You deserve this feeling. You deserve to have this experience inside of you and inside of your life. You deserve it. It's your birthright. It's possible. And right now, allow yourself to simply feel it and enjoy it, whatever is this feeling in your body moving through right now. Give yourself permission to say yes to it. Give yourself permission to say yes to this bigger vision of your life. You don't have to know exactly the steps how you get there. It doesn't matter right now. Just imagine that end result, that picture that excites you the most, and allow yourself right now to say yes to it fully. With every cell in your body saying yes to it. And what is that feeling of yes inside? Recognize that feeling itself, that yes, so alive in you right now. And take a few deep breaths into that feeling of a yes. Feed it with your powerful, deep, luxurious inhale. Effortless exhale. Still using that exhale to let go of whatever fear or doubt might be in the way, creating room for more and more yes with each breath. Beautiful. Just take another minute to enjoy it. This is really important what came up. Either it's logical and makes sense or doesn't make sense. Take a note of it. It's not a coincidence what arose in you and what is still arising in you right now. It's not random. If you have a journal by your side, you can take a couple of quick notes just to anchor in what you got. And then later after this call, you can journal in much more depth. And this process will stay with you for the rest of the night. You might wake up with an amazing new insight and clarity. So we just move things in a new direction here energetically. So see how things unfold from here, especially as we keep going forward with this call. So whatever arises from this place inside of you is not random. This is where you're most in touch with your inner guidance. So really listen to it. And the stronger is your yes, the stronger is your commitment to your greatest vision, the easier it will be actually to follow your inner guidance. Because you're done struggling, you're done spending your time exhausted in your life, you're done doing something for a living that doesn't feed your soul. You're done being in relationships that are not supportive, where you don't feel seen, you don't feel honored or heard. You're done with all these things. And when you really commit to, I am done and I'm setting my sight on this new vision and I'm going for it, your inner guidance becomes very easy to follow and courage will arise because you have a yes that's stronger than your old habits and old fears. And feeling that yes in your body is the key. So that's what we just did. So from this point, there's another very important question that leads me to what I mentioned before, that this is just a little, even though it might be powerful, but it's still a little step in the direction of you manifesting your greater purpose in the world. And now it boils down to the key number 3. Do you remember number 3? The third key to manifesting the purpose you most desire in your life, creating your 2019 from your soul. What was that third key? It was support. And by the way, as you're listening to me and you're emerging out of the session, feel free to send us messages via chat. What are you feeling now? What's new in you? What did you just find, realize, experience? It would be great to hear from you. Chat is right at the very bottom. You can see an icon that says chat. Send us some messages. And send us some messages around the word support. What does it mean for you to receive support in order to manifest this vision, in order to take the right steps from your inner guidance to create a life where your soul is flowing forward with its most powerful gifts. And it's flowing forward in a way where there's abundance in your life, ease, you're supported, you're doing what's most fulfilling for you while being supported by prosperity, while being supported by relationships, right? How can you bring forward your soul's gifts while having a life that nourishes you and nourishes your soul coming forward more and more and more? So support is the key. So this is the next segment. I want you to tap into it with your deepest devotion. What support do you need to actually take the next couple of steps towards that vision you just got? What is the support that will help you get out of the fear, out of the habitual anxiety, out of the habitual self-doubt completely, so you can fully come forward with your full power, with your full confidence, with your full brilliance, make a difference on our planet the way your soul wants to do it. And I'm reading here the messages in the chat. Feeling complete clarity about my gifts and next steps. Kim Zoller says, I immediately felt giggling joy as I tapped into my soul's vision. There's one person saying, feeling expanded and grateful. Erin has a great question. Is there a practice that might help to start off each day to ground us in our full confidence? Yeah, let's answer that question at the end of this call. This is a great question. But right now, what I want to introduce to you, as you're so clearly tapped into your yes, into your highest vision, and your mind is not in the way as much as it was before. Can you feel it? Like you are not in that place of anxiety or worry or self-doubt the way you were even just an hour ago. So you are more clear. So I want to talk to your clarity about support. So there are many support systems, of course, out there that are brilliant and powerful and high caliber. However, there's a reason why you were called to be here with me. There was something in you that resonated with Breath of Love, with Julia Mick, with this particular path, with this particular message. And to me, that means a lot. So there is already a connection that brought us together. So I want to offer you to go deeper with me and learn how to embody everything we have been talking about on your own. So in Breath of Love practice, and that actually does answer Erin's question. In Breath of Love practice, you learn a whole practice that you can do every day. You can have a profound life-changing journey by doing 1 hour session, or you can tap into your innermost clarity, confidence, and courage and inner guidance through 5-minute practice. But it's a whole body of work that I'm teaching, and there's an opportunity now to step into it because it's coming up in February. It's only like a month and a half away. So if this, what you right now tasted with me, resonates with you, you want more of it, you're excited about it, you can feel it pulling you forward, then this offer is for you. It's called Personal Mastery Course. It's a 6-day immersion in Boulder, Colorado. And it's a profound, profound journey where people come for several days in a row to fully anchor in as much as possible their new alignment with their soul's gifts, with their spirit, with their bigger purpose, and with their courage to live it fully. Because one session is wonderful, it can give you a lovely glimpse, but it's really about rewiring your nervous system and repatterning your subconscious. So whatever old trauma has stood in the way doesn't have to stand in the way to you living your greater dream any longer. And whatever fear, whatever self-limiting belief has been standing in the way, either you know it or not, something has been there standing in the way, right? That can deeply be peeled and shed and released when there is such a potent container as our 6-day immersion. That's why it's 6 days, because it's literally like a rebirth. And of course, just coming to Boulder, Colorado is very helpful because it unplugs you from your habitual way of perceiving yourself, habitual way of thinking about what you can do or cannot do. You're unplugging from your social scene that continuously feed back to you your idea of who you are. So it's unplugging from all of it and discovering yourself in a brand new way, tapping into your soul guidance, into your bigger purpose, and having clarity about the next steps forward. And also being able to create a life where you're deeply supported, nourished, and at ease while living your purpose. That's a very important part of Breath of Love work. If you're familiar with my work, you know that in my work, it's not about just living your bigger, most sacred purpose while struggling. That's not the point. The point is, how can you bring your soul, your divinity forward while having a life where you have time to yourself every day? There is ease, There is peace in relationships. There is abundance and prosperity. Like, how can you really create a whole new life from an embodied place so it affects your actual physical reality? So your physical reality will become this beautiful support system where your gift can blossom more and more and more with ease. Does that make sense? But there's so many limiting beliefs that create struggle, that create the ideas that I have to do it on my own, or who am I to step forward fully? Who am I to leave my job behind to create a whole new opportunity? Whatever your belief system is, like these belief systems need support to actually fully let go. Because if you could do it on your own, let's be honest, you would have done it a long time ago. So with that said, Shirley, this is a good moment for you to share. Shirley is our master coach, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the call, and she's a very important part of this program. And she brings her gifts, her wisdom, and she has taken so many people through processes where they have said yes to the bigger dream, to the deeper purpose. So I want Shirley to chime in any way that feels right to you, Shirley.
Thank you, beautiful. And hi, everyone. It's such a joy to be here, especially after that incredible experience, which, as Julie said, is just a taste. But I just want you to tune into your body again and just feel that energy of yes. When we are in that energy of yes, we are just in who we are. What it is an unveiling, right? We just allowed this space to drop enough of what isn't us, and what immediately emerges is a sense of yes, of possibility. I mean, how many people are on this call right now that feel such a grounded sense of possibility and clarity? And that is the essence of who we are. And so just feeling that very much myself. And it's such a joy to be here with Julia, because like her, I've been on a huge journey myself, and I have a huge rap sheet of trainings, master's in spiritual psychology and in transpersonal psychology, and really my whole 20 plus years of my life, of my last 20 plus years of my life was spent trying to heal and fix and grow and get to love myself and know myself. And it wasn't until I touched what Julia is talking about, our true self, who is already whole and complete in a really deeply embodied sense, not just in that philosophical sense, that everything finally shifted. Because up to that point, it was all struggle. Even though I had all these masters and I had done all these clearings and healings and worked with infinite amount of energetic workers and healers and therapists, it just felt like my life was constant struggle. I was constantly going uphill. And once I made that shift and finally surrendered, finally saw myself in a really deep felt sense to who I am, everything shifted. And I'm not saying life has been perfect and easy, but my experience of life is one of joy and greater ease and trust and surrender. And this synchronicities and clarity of guidance that start to come through then gets so strong and so clear that you have nothing left to do but just surrender more to who you truly are. You have nothing left to do but just to love yourself more. You have nothing left to do but just play more, show up more, because you just trust more. And I really saw, it's just what Julia is saying, it didn't matter how much training I had until I saw it deeply, deeply, and felt it in my body and saw it clearly. And it's like the veil lifted. And that's what I love about Julia's work, because she actually doesn't talk that much. She creates a container to finally help you get in touch with who you are. It's not Julia doing this work for you. It's not breath of love creating some enlightenment. It's unveiling what has kept you from already knowing the magnificence you are in a deep, felt, embodied way that sticks. And it's so beautiful. It's so tremendous. I even can remember the first time I met Julia. It was 9 or 10 years ago in a conference, a week-long workshop that is very high-level leader. And it was a very jam-packed with lots of value and all of these different workshops and talks and things and inspiration. And the only thing I remember from that weekend was Julia. and the guidance and breath of love experience she led us through. That said something. I don't remember all the theory, all the motivation, nothing. I remembered reality, having a deep, true connection with myself. And that is what is available, you know, and any time we want to move forward, we've all had the experience where we get really, really excited about a vision and we feel we're on top of the world, we're going to move forward on it. And the next day we're just like doubting ourselves. What happened to that, all of that inspiration that we were just feeling yesterday? And then so we go to the next healer, you know, it's our ability to create that container within ourselves consistently so that we can tune in to the presence of mind and clarity that consistently allows us to be in our yes and in our love and in our hearts is what personal mastery is about.
Personal mastery.
Yeah. And that's why this week is called Personal Mastery. And it's the first week amidst her entire teacher training because you have to start with yourself if you're going to heal another. But it's also a week because it's available to everyone, because this is the week that sets us off in this path of just greater ease and deepening faith and clarity about who you are. And it just amazes me more and more the depths of faith that I fall into, even in the face of hardship and strife, because your resilience becomes so quick. You catch yourself in those old patterns even more quickly and come back to your center, who you are. And that's true resilience. So
thank you, Shirley. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
I wanted you to get to know Shirley because she will be a very big part of the personal mastery course too. And for those of you who resonate with this work, with this message, with what you just found today, we are actually offering you a gift. Shirley and I are offering you a special gift of, we call it a clarity call. The full name of it is Courage to Shine Clarity Call. And this is for those of you that are wanting to go deeper. Like you got inspired today, you got excited, you got intrigued, and you want to talk more about how to take it deeper, how to anchor it in, how to stay in this place, how to deepen into this place. So personal mastery is one of the conversations you can have on the clarity call, but you can have also other conversations about how to help you sustain it ongoingly, right? So that's what the clarity call is about. And this is our gift to you. It's for free. It's a full hour you get for free. And Shirley is the master coach who will hold space for you. And Shirley, I have seen Shirley's work and it blows me away again and again. It's truly such an honor. Thank you so much, Shirley, for opening your heart and saying yes to offering your gift and holding space for all these beautiful people so they can live their bigger vision and the divine can flow through them into the world on a more consistent basis.
It's my pleasure. And I can only do it with someone who I feel is in such integrity, and just know that that's what this is about. It's about serving everyone fully and helping you get clear about your next steps, whether they're this or something else. We just want you to be in your yes, you know? So I look forward to meeting those of you who will join me on that call and seeing what is your yes and helping you step into it boldly this year.
And I'm actually going to send you all a link to where you can register. So the link is in the chat. I'm copying it right now. So copy paste this link for yourself for later, because once the call ends, you won't have access to this link. I mean, we will send you an email with a reminder, but you can copy paste it right now so you can access it even in this very moment or after this call. And here on this webpage, you can learn more about Personal Mastery course. And there is a button where you can schedule your clarity call with Shirley. And I highly recommend to please schedule it right away, because actually applications for this course are taken only until January 25th. And they want to make sure we get that clarity call in ideally this week or next at latest. And when you are so deeply inspired the way you're inspired right now, like you're this clear channel. Like if you have a yes to learn more about Personal Mastery course, follow this yes. This yes is not a coincidence. It's not random. It's not casual. Like just get on the phone with Shirley. It's just an exploration call to support you. There's no pressure. And on these clarity calls, it's very important for Shirley and I that we really find the best match for the Personal Mastery course. If Shirley sees that maybe something else serves you better, she will 100% support you choosing what actually supports you the most, creating the vision you want in your life. And that's really the main focus on the clarity call. So please know there's no pressure. It's just an opportunity to receive support. So right there, you already have a new level of support coming to you. Does everyone see this link? If you don't, you can send me a message via chat. You're welcome, Erin. Erin is saying, thank you, Julia. Thank you, Shirley. Good. Is there anything else we need to say about personal mastery, Shirley? Because then we want to go into some time for questions. You're good? Okay. So we have some time for questions. I know there was so much information given, and I actually had written out way more things I wanted to tell you about. I had 5 fears that stand in the way to people living their bigger purpose, following their soul's calling. I wanted to talk about those to help you become aware of those. But we're out of time. So again, this is why we have a 6-day immersion coming up for in-depth study and in-depth experience. But whatever questions you have right now, I'd love to hear them, and I answer them to the best of my capacity as quickly as I can. It could be personal questions, could be something from your own life, like your vulnerability, your personal tenderness is so very welcome here. Or if it's just a general question about breath of love, that's good too. Or question about personal mastery, whatever you want, follow your inner guidance. And I'm reading through your beautiful messages that you sent via chat. Louise Martinez says, feeling and knowing now I can have more, and this is so much more if I follow the inner me. Thank you. Lori is saying, feeling whole and complete, the lotus flower opening up in the most beautiful and inspiring way. Erin, good question. My relationship with my boss is very strained, says Erin. Could there be a way to temper his abrasiveness with breath work? Great question. I'm giggling because it actually reminded me of my client that I had about a year ago who was working on a very similar situation. And it was actually rather fascinating. It was Miraculous, where when this woman shifted from inside, like she shifted her energy, her attitude shifted, but more than anything, her energy, her vibration shifted. Her boss started attending to her completely differently. She also had actually conflict with her boss. Her boss was always nagging at her and never happy with her. Whatever she did, boss was always unhappy. But then she did this deep work with me on a subconscious level, she shifted. And all of a sudden her boss started appreciating her. It was, for her, it was a miracle. She was the, how is this even possible? But the work she did was really on a level of subconscious, because she carried a lot of shame and she carried a lot of feeling that she's not good enough. So there were things inside of her that actually kept affecting her boss and kept hooking her boss into this kind of behavior, unkind behavior. And that's the power of who we are. Like, we have all these beliefs and feelings and traumas inside of us, and they keep creating our reality. So when we do our work and release from a very deep core level, then our relationships change. Our connection with money changes. Our ability to make a living in a most fulfilled, graceful way becomes possible. So yeah, it's possible. That's my short answer to you, Erin. Mon is asking, do you know of any agency that connects breath workers to retreat organizers? I don't quite know what you mean by that. I can clarify question. You can also email me later if I don't answer this question right now. Sumiko is saying, since I have self-doubt for quite some time, how can I differentiate what is coming from my brain or what is really coming from my inner self? Oh my God, who else can resonate with this question, right? This is the question, I think, for all of us. So good. And this is really it. And there isn't a quick answer. Let me see if there's a super quick answer that I can give you right now. Okay, here's a very short one I can give. When you do this type of work, like for instance, the meditation I took you through today, did you feel how you were much more clear? There wasn't worry or anxiety as much as before. There wasn't maybe as much tension as before. So the more you do this work and connect to your inner self, it becomes actually very clear the difference between your inner self and the brain. It will be like black and white, black. There's actually even no gray zone, but it's a practice. And as Shirley said, it's something that the more you do it, the more you have support doing it, the more you anchor in your capacity to tap right into this vibration of your soul, your inner essence, your inner guidance. And it's a very clear feeling and knowing, and it's very different from the brain. Completely different world. But the thing with most people is that they have spent so much time in their brain for so many years that they don't even know there's another dimension possible on the inside. So again, that's what the 6-day immersion in Boulder is for at the end of February. It's exactly this. Like, we'll do so many deep practices. Every day you'll have a full-on breath of love session. And you will anchor in your connection to your inner self, to your inner guidance deeper and deeper and deeper. Layer by layer, you'll just go into it. And from that place, you'll just know. You'll know who you really are. You know what the answers are. And I would just say, stay with the practice, stay with the support. That's the key. And until then, either you come in February or you don't come. One thing you can do is do the meditation we did today. Take this home with you. Do it every day and see how it changes and deepens as you do it with every day. Every day it becomes slightly different, brings a new nuance, brings in maybe deeper clarity, maybe an emotion that needs to release along the way. But it's really the practice where the biggest breakthroughs happen. I hope that helped. There's a much more deeper, like a multi-layered, multi-dimensional answer I could give you, but this was a very simple one. I hope this helps. Okay, great. There's Mon is certified and have experience facilitating breathwork. Wonderful. Good. And Clarence says, what is the breath of love? Can you explain it again? Great. I love your questions. Breath of love is a body of work that starts with a technique that includes breath. So in breath of love, there are actually 4 stages. First stage is the conceptual stage, where you have read the books, you have gone to the seminars, you have all kinds of important spiritual knowledge in your mind. And you all have passed the first stage. I know that. You got it. You know the answers. You're teachers, healers yourself. You know a lot of things. So second stage in breath of love is actually where the breath work comes in. It's a very specific breath modality that's not rebirthing. It's not holotropic breath work. It's not pranayama that you do in your yoga class. It's a very specific work that's embodiment related. So it's about teaching the nervous system and teaching our body, our psyche to let go, so the soul frequency and soul gift can come into the embodied way of being and living. So it's about embodiment, and very often that second stage is where the biggest breakthrough happens. When people come for the 6-day immersions, they have like this, like alarm clock goes off, like, oh my God, like I understand everything about my life. I feel pure love coursing through my being. I feel so courageous and at ease living my bigger purpose. Like it's like an alarm, like explosion happens. But it's only the second stage. So the third stage is actually receiving support to embody and anchor the state ongoingly so it can become a new habit. And that's where it has nothing to do with the breath. You don't have to do anything to the breath to embody your true nature. That's when it becomes about living and breathing in your everyday reality, this innermost connection to your power, to the grace, to your clear inner guidance. And that's where support comes in. So when you come to personal mastery course, there's actually a lot of support given after the personal mastery course for this very reason. So you don't go home with this amazing epiphany, but you don't know how to sustain it. So the third stage is all about sustaining it and embodying it and integrating into your everyday relationships, going grocery shopping, boss, how you work with money, like integrating it and letting it affect and change your practical everyday reality. That's the third stage. And fourth stage in Breath of Love is about being lived by your true nature. That means that you don't need like a strong, consistent support system to keep you on track. You have created so much deep habit, new habit to stay in alignment with who you are, that it takes over your life. It just takes over your life. It's not about you trying to do a technique or needing another session. Like you're surrendered so deeply that this intelligence of your true nature, the benevolence of your true nature just takes over. It makes choices for you. It tells you where to go, whom to call. And speaking of miracles, that's where most miracles happen. It's amazing. I'll tell you a quick little story. One of our advanced certified practitioners, whose name is Leandra, some of you know her. So and Leandra actually will be teaching with me at the personal mastery course now as I think of it. So Leandra, she was strongly guided to Italy. She went to Italy just a month ago. It wasn't rational inner guidance. She was just following this intelligence that was pulling her forward. She went to Italy. While in Italy, she had so many deep awakening experiences where she realized her bigger purpose on a much greater level. While in Italy, life organized for her to have a new place to live in LA. She didn't have to look for it. She didn't even have to try. She didn't have to figure it out. It just came to her. She came back to her home, LA, and this opportunity showed itself. This person contacted her saying, hey, do you want to stay at my place? You can pay whatever is possible for you. Like this person even was willing to decrease the rent. It's like, whatever you want, Leandra, what can you pay? It's easy. And she just was flowing from one thing to the next without even trying. And one thing along the way, as she was traveling back from Italy to LA, she had a situation happen with her plane where I can't remember what happened with her flight, but she basically wasn't able to fly the way she was planning to fly. So she had to wait for a couple of hours for a different flight. She was bumped into a different flight, and as she was waiting for a couple of hours for this different flight, she was following her intuition. So she was following her intuition to this restaurant, sitting at the bar. She never sits in the bar normally. That's what she said to me. She sat at the bar because she was pulled effortlessly to that position. She happened to sit right next to her new future client that she didn't know at that time, an attorney that was on spiritual search and was really needing help in his life. She sat right next to him, and they ended up creating a connection where this person signed up for a whole 6-month package with her. And I mean, amazing opportunity for this man to receive support, a beautiful opportunity for Leandra to have a new client, to generate more income, to be in service. And all of it organized by life. She wasn't even trying, right? So this is what I'm saying when I say in stage 4, it's about being lived by your true nature. It's something takes over that just guides you. And yeah, I have so many stories like this. It's pretty amazing. And I know some people Oh my God, we have to finish. I'll mention this last piece. Oh, there's so much to say. I'm actually getting the guidance right now that continue this with Shirley. Like whatever is bubbling up, whatever excitement is coming up, and you want to hear more, you want to talk more, bring it to your clarity call. This is what it's about. Yeah. And wait for the miracles to show up. I have seen miracles of money, new money just showing up when the person says yes. I've seen miracles of support showing up through relationships where unsupportive husband all of a sudden became supportive. Like there's so much that can come to you when you say yes to your soul, to your inner guidance. Just Leandra was continuously following her inner guidance. So keep saying yes. Feel free to email me any other comments or questions you have. And you got the link for personal mastery. So I highly recommend you go to it right now. I'll actually copy paste it to you right now. So here you don't have to look for it. I recommend to go to it right now so you can schedule your clarity call with Shirley right away. And maybe you'll get to talk to her already in 2 days. So you don't have to wait. As you have this awakening that happened today, ride the momentum. Take advantage of this momentum that started today. Yeah, anything else you want to say, Shirley, before we complete?
Oh, wow. No, that feels really good. I think if I just have some words of wisdom is that think of those moments where you've had ahas that were so life-shifting. They didn't come from a book. They didn't come from a teacher. They came from inside. And so if you're going to work with a teacher, which is the fast path, right? It is so much faster. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're going to work with a practice, if you're going to do anything, do it with someone that doesn't give you more theory, but helps create a container for your own insights to come up, because that's where the change happens. That's where those veils come off. That's where you see more clearly when you see from within. Otherwise, people can tell you over and over, but you hear it, but you don't get it, right? It's like bumper sticker that, you can have this really beautiful phrase on a car with a bumper sticker, but it doesn't fundamentally change the car, right? So mantras, affirmations, theory, until it sticks inside, it's just like a bumper sticker. It doesn't change you. Julia is one of those teachers that is so embodied, and her work is so powerful that she creates that container for you, so whether it's with Julia or someone else, that's what I really recommend, because that's what's going to change you. So that's what I would end with. Really? Yeah, and I really look forward to talking to all of you. As you can tell, I just love this work and all of you so much. It'll just be a joy.
Oh, so well said, Shirley. Thank you so much. Oh, I just feel so good being here with all of you, and we have to end. I look forward to seeing some of you at the Personal Mastery course, wherever we see each other next. And many, many blessings to your night. Be gentle with yourself. Know you're still in process. And notice the inner guidance and inspiration that keeps bubbling up tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, many blessings to all of you. So good to see those faces that show the video. I love seeing you. Yes. Bye for now.